for those of you the bronies out there, if you're about to be listening to this particular message comes from me. And I just want to say, happy birthday to the film, happy birthday to the movie, happy birthday dear the films of My Little Pony the movie 2017, because that film is now 5 years old recently today in America. So happy anniversary of the, well, My Little Pony the movie 2017 film. So yeah, I can't believe that film is now 5 years ago. So either way though, congratulations to that particular film. So that's the only reason why I want to celebrate it. So hey, what's up everybody? It is I am the one and only Tiana here once again, and I'm back for yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, specifically Link's Awakening DX for the Game Boy / Game Boy Color. So, last time we did manage able to finally complete the final dungeon in the game, known as Turtle Rock, and good lord, that particular dungeon sucked by the way, just because the amount of backtracking you have to deal with, as well as the forms of some tedious puzzles to go through, and it's not that very fun in my opinion. Although, we did manage able to beat the boss fight no problem, so at least that's that. And also we somehow managed able to get ourselves the final item in the game to its disposal. That's what appears to be the fire rod. So today, ladies and gentlemen, this will be the finale in terms of The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening DX for the Game Boy / Game Boy Color. Because obviously, after all, we've already got ourselves all 8 of those specific instruments to able to wake up the forms of the Windfish. So that means we can now able to actually just well, finish the game entirely. So even then though, first things first though, we need to able to find that specific book. That, by the way, we do need to able to go into the library, so hopefully it won't be too far from here, I don't think, after going for this particular mysterious forest. And thankfully, this will be the final time we're going to be hearing this irritating, power-up music, because it starts to get a little bit repetitive after a while, but thankfully it's gone as soon as I'm able to explore this area, so I guess that's that. So, oh, and also we somehow managed to get ourselves the final heart container as well, so either way though, that, well, after all, we've already did manage to experience every single dungeons in this game. So anyways, let's check out the yellow book, because, well, it seems pretty new and all that stuff. Dark Secrets and Mysteries of Kalut Island, or I have no idea. It's been about 2 days ago since I actually last played this, so forgive me if I somehow managed to botch everything else up. So anyways, pay attention to this particular arrow directions as you can see. So we have right, up, right, up, right, up. So yeah, good thing I remembered that, because that will be important if you really want to able to wake up the Windfish, especially noticeable if you really want to finish the game up. So yeah, I guess that probably explains it, huh? So, for those of you probably wondering, yeah, today's date is of course the 6th of October today, in this case in 2022 today. As I mentioned this before, for those of you the bronies out there, whoever actually listens to this, obviously I've already managed able to did the actual, I'm not gonna lie, a pretty worse song I just performed, I must be honest, because I wasn't expecting if I was trying to think of something. But recently, My Little Pony the movie 2017 has officially become 5 years old recently today for America. So either way though, well, it wasn't until whenever it gets to the UK that it was going to be on the 20th of October, which I'm sure that Maxi will talk more details about that until when he goes back on to, you know what I mean, Super Mario Galaxy, or specifically Super Luigi Galaxy I should say, for the sake of the films of Super Mario 3D All-Stars. So, but worth mentioning, especially noticeable because, well, I got nothing else to add. So, anyways, let's go ahead and just use the actual power bracelet, and it's just, you know, it's still annoying to able to actually keep on, you know, switching between those different items alike, but thankfully though, this will be the last time for doing this for the sake of the films of this video, because either way though, we're actually getting very, very close towards the end. Although, it wasn't until whenever we get to the Oracle of Duology games, specifically Oracle of Ages and Seasons though, if we get around into those eventually in the future though, you'll expect it to be a lot more tedious as I thought it was. So, here we are, onto the actual Windfish egg. And because of this though, we do need able to bring out the Ocarina, by the way. and able to activate the song number 1, in this case Ballad of the Windfish, and that way if you activate the ocarina, then obviously we can now able to actually open up the final area in the game. Assuming first off we need to able to activate all 8 of those instruments, so yeah, that's basically all you can do here. And that way we can now able to actually just well, get inside the Windfish's egg. In this case the final area in the game, so and it's actually kind of convenient about the fact that with my ruby count, that I've somehow almost nearly at the 700 rubies count, but that's okay though, because either way though, we don't need to worry about buying items for the sake of time, so the time has come. The Windfish awaits. Enter the egg. Hoot, hoot. Yep, I'm preparing for myself for this point, so let's, well, dive right in. And then, by the way, if you're about to enter in this particular area, well, basically though is the fact that you won't be able to actually get out of it. So, well, assuming if that's what that is anyway. So, well, you can able to exit out if you want, but we just want able to finish the game. So, like, if we fell in here, basically there's no way you can get out. So, yeah, because basically this is where we ended up in this maze corridor room segment. So, remember that yellow book that we already read through? Well, basically we do need to pay attention quickly because we need to go right, up, and especially noticeable for up, and right, because if you go to the opposite direction for up, down, or anything else like that, I think the thing resets. So, thankfully though, I've managed able to memorize every single paths of it though. So if you do manage to find your way over there, well, this is where we're able to actually get into ourselves into the final boss in The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening DX. We were born of nightmares to take over this world. We made the Windfish sleep endlessly. If the Windfish doesn't wake up, this island will never disappear. We would have been the masters of this place, but you had to come here and disturb our plans. Hehe, you can never defeat us. Let's rumble! So yes, here's the forms of the final boss of the game, and this particular final boss has 2 different, or actually gonna think about it, 5 phases to go through. So the first phase, basically, it get out to take down is the actual, the Shadow Nightmare. I think that's what the actual thing itself is called anyway. So basically, in order to deal the damage on this first phase right here, we need to use the magic powder in order to be able to deal the damage. But then after you've done so already, then basically he'll move on to the next phase. So, I get the strong sense of feeling we'll probably go in and equip the Fire Rod, so just in case we can able to deal with... Actually, no way, I think we'll save that for later. Wait a second, that particular face looks familiar, doesn't it? Yes, it appears to be kind of like the exactly the same face as in A Link to the Past, where you get to take down the forms of Akarim, I think that's what its name anyway, despite it's been about a couple of months ago since I actually last played The Legend of Zelda A Link to the Past. Well, that's only mainly because obviously that Pac-Man he's already finished up that game, so something's worth mentioning for the sake of time. So yeah, you know the idea. Basically, he's gonna have to able to send a projectile back at him, and that's all he does. Oh, speaking of such though, here's the forms of my least favorite kind of like boss type for this phase. Although thankfully though, you don't need to worry about the forms of bottomless pits anymore, because in order to deal the damage of this is that whenever you see that glowing spot at the end of its tail, basically it deals small swipes at him, and that appears to be Ganon from the likes of A Link to the Past? Well, it certainly seems that way. Although it's kind of similar in that particular attack pattern and stuff like that, so... But obviously pretty simple and easy. The only time it's a little bit difficult though, is the fact that you get able to dodge a lot of stuff, so... Yeah, that's the entire purpose of this fight, so enough hits on him. And if you think this is done and over, oh, looks like... Okay, that works for me. Anyway, so if you think this is done, well, we got one more phase left. So in this case, here we have... Banditi. I think that's what the form itself is called anyway. So basically, this is without doubt the hardest fight in the game, because obviously that in order to deal the damage on him, basically we have to use the bow and arrow in order to do it. And then because of this though, you have to aim for its eye, just like the forms of the Gomo. So because of this though, sometimes you get able to pay attention to the forms of that particular, you know, his arms and everything, because it likes to spin around every now and then. But regardless of everything else though, when you get the hang of it though, it might not be so bad. So it's just the fact, the matter is though, it's just the fact that sometimes this boss fight can be a bit difficult at times. But yeah, especially noticeable because, well, if you somehow almost got cornered, then basically there's no breathing room. So thus, if you get hit by the forms of these arms, then, oh my lord, the damage output is a bit too much for my taste. And also, you can technically try to able to deal with him with the boomerang, but it feels kind of luck-based if you try to able to kill him quicker. So, yeah, unfortunately though, we got to do this the hard and normal method by using the bow and arrow for the better. So, yeah, wish me luck at this point, especially because, well, I just don't want to able to get a game over on this point, because, you know, it's really want to see if of what really happens if you somehow beat the game without dying once. So, although, to be fair though, there is that useful item I've somehow managed able to still got with me, that it allows me to able to revive for the actual battle, so, but either way though, we'll just, oh god, dang it, I lost, but luckily, we actually got ourselves our potions, it allows me to able to revive, so, that should be handy I guess, but thankfully it doesn't send me to a game over screen or anything, so, seriously, this battle can get a little bit tough, but if you get the hang of it though, it might not be too bad, but I highly recommend Rock's Feather, so this island is going to disappear. Our world is going to disappear. Our world. And there goes the forms of Shadow Nightmare. Tiana, you have beaten all the nightmares, climbed the stairs before you. Alright, so we'll go up this little staircase, and soon enough, we were able to actually just to go and meet up with the legendary, well, Windfish. Or an Alphas, rather. Woot, young lad, I mean Tiana. The hero, you have defeated the nightmares. You have proven your wisdom, courage, and power. As part of the Windfish's spirit, I am the guardian of his dream world. But one day, the nightmares entered the dream and began wreaking havoc. Then you, Tiana, came to rescue the island. I have always treated or trusted in your courage to turn back the nightmares. Thank you, Tiana. My work is done. The Windfish will awake soon. Goodbye. Hoot! Well, there goes the owl right here. And here it is. There's the Windfish himself. I am the Windfish. Long has been my slumber. In my dreams, an egg appeared and was surrounded by an island with people, animals, an entire world. But verily it be the nature of dreams to end. When I awaken, Kulut will be gone. Only the memory of this dream land will exist in the awakening world. Someday, though, may recall this island that memory must be the real dream world. Come, Tiana, let us awaken together. Alright, you probably get the idea for this point right there. Play the 8 instruments. Play the Song of Awakening. Alrighty then. So we'll just use those instruments again. And this time, everything else is going to be, well, vanished. Or, in this case, disappeared. Filled to the brim with a lot of people, but also with, I believe, Marin as well. So, kinda sad, honestly, to able to actually miss this place. Although, until at some point again until next year in 2023, hopefully we will revisit this particular Kulut Island again until on the Switch remake. So, if we get a chance to able to just do that, so... And there goes the Kulut Island. And we somehow just, got caught by the Water Kaiser. Or something like that, I have no idea. So yeah, it turns out it's just all a dream, so... Yeah, I can pretty much expect hell about the fact that we've been, sleeping this whole time, while after that particular shipwreck, got caught by the storm. So that's something, I suppose. And I believe Link is about able to awaken. And we hear that familiar Ballad of the Windfish song, as far as we hear. And yeah, Link, he's just about to sit on that particular missing part of the raft, so... Oh? It looks like the Windfish just somehow appears. Right across the skies above. And yeah, that's basically how the ending goes for the sake of The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. It doesn't matter if it's on the Game Boy or the Game Boy Color, or specifically the Nintendo Switch remake, and I do apologize for that particular credit sequence, it's a bit messed up. That's only mainly because I blame on the forms of the flickering problem when it comes to like recordings and stuff on emulator, so forgive me if I botched everything else up, but until when it gets to the point on the Switch remake, then I should probably be able to actually just let you guys see the credit sequence proper. So, anyways, let's give my final thoughts of The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening for the Game Boy and Game Boy Color for the DX version. Personally speaking, I think I'd much rather prefer, well, let's just say, let's get to the positive things out of the way first. I really love the different setting of this game. It does manage to take place in a different location as opposed to Hyrule, which I think that's obviously a great thing about the game. And also another thing as well is the fact that the visuals looks really impressive, even on the Game Boy game, and especially noticeable about the fact that I really love the music and all that stuff. And heck, even especially noticeable that the gameplay plays out exactly like the forms of how it does in on other Zelda games, specifically Zelda 1, and especially noticeable with Zelda 3, or should I say, A Link to the Past. Although mind you about the fact that the only difference is this time is the fact that we have less buttons to work with instead of like more buttons to work with, unlike in A Link to the Past and stuff like that. So yeah, that being said though, I honestly is really impressed with the forms of the Game Boy Color version of the game, as a re-release of the game, because it's pretty obvious about the fact that they added more content than the forms of how it does in the original Game Boy version. Like, obviously that the color version is my preferred version of the game, as opposed to in the 1993 original. Although, don't get me wrong, I don't mind the original version on the Game Boy, but it's just the fact that I honestly am more accustomed to the forms of in the color version from the likes of the Game Boy Color version. But regardless of everything else though, I really enjoyed this game. Although it does have some issues though, specifically of how the fact that the item inventory system can be felt a little bit more cryptic at times. Although, before I get into more details onto that though, if you somehow managed able to beat the game without dying once, you guess that's a very secret ending where it involves around Marin did show up, but it turns out it's the forms of the seagull, so that's pretty swell. So, and also about the fact that I'm not a big fan of the forms of the final two dungeons in the game. That's the forms of Eagle Tower and Total Rock, because good lord, the final two dungeons are by far the most tedious dungeons in the game, just because you have to go for a lot of backtracking and the item switching problem like I stated earlier. So, the fact of the matter is though, is that this game is like, pretty awesome. Not perfect by any means, but regardless of anything else though, I still highly recommend this, especially noticeable if you ever play this on the emulator, or every now and then the Switch remake. So it's kind of unfair that you can no longer get this game on the 3DS eShop now, unless if you do that the special technique you can do. But apart from those side of things though, yeah, I think that's as far as I can say in terms of The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening DX for the Game Boy/Game Boy Color. So I hope you guys do enjoy this particular playthrough, and it did say on here, the development team would like to thank you for playing. Yeah, absolutely, it's a worth pleasure. So yeah, this is me, Tiana, from the likes of the Maxi Toys videos, and up next in terms of the Zelda games department though, there's a lot of Zelda games I can probably possibly tackle for Let's Play of. I was maybe wondering, I can probably do a remake version of the game on the Switch, which is of course Link's Awakening, or The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, or the Wind Waker HD or something. Even though, let me know in the comments down below which one of the Zelda games you'd like me to tackle through, because, well, I'm out of options or something. So I'll see you guys at some point soon. Bye.